wonder what makes you, you? Were you born with these characteristics and qualities, or did you develop them over time? Good morning, my name is Lizzy T, and I'm here to discuss the nature versus nurture psychological debate. Different people perceive the same stimuli in similar situations differently. This is due to the individual's neuroplasticity of the brain that's different for each person. According to Extrasensory Perception by Gershon and Paradiso, neuroplasticity is the ability of our brain to physically adapt to new stimuli. This plasticity allows the brain to reorganize and restructure itself due to changing stimuli in the environment. An ever-present question in psychology asks whether genetic factors or environmental influences play a greater role in this changing neuroplasticity of the brain. This is known as the nature versus nurture debate, which analyzes the interaction between environmental stimuli and genetic coding on behavior and our perception of the world. Saul McLeod, a psychology tutor at the University of Manchester, describes the nature versus nurture debate as the extent to which the particular aspects of behavior are a product of either inherited or acquired characteristics. Inherited characteristics embody the nature side of the debate, while the acquired characteristics are the nurture side of the debate. Specifically, the nature side proposes that an individual's genetic coding is the sole cause of their individual qualities and characteristics. For example, this would include eye color, hair color, and even height and weight and things like that. However, physical qualities are not the only thing that these nativists, which believe in the nature side of debate, believe is due to genetic coding. They also believe that things like personality and intelligence and even things like sexual orientation can be attributed to genetic coding. On the other hand, the nurture side of debate attributes our individual qualities and characteristics to environmental stimuli and factors and situations in which we each have a unique behavior in response to, which makes us an individual. So if you take, for example, excessive air pollution in the city, which occurs over a prolonged period of time, can cause lung diseases like lung cancer if they were associated with this environmental stimuli, and this is not attributed to a genetic predisposition, so it would just be the nurture side of the debate. So which is it? Would it be nature or nurture? What's the answer to this debate? Well, the reason this debate has continued for such a long period of time is because there is no answer. No one person and no one psychologist is completely 100% sure of which side is correct. So my solution that it's both nature and nurture, it's the combination of these two. So the majority of accredited psychologists certify that both of these work in combination, in unison, to produce an individual. And the reason that we believe this is the excessive evidence shown in studies and experiments that show that they work in unison. One study was conducted by Fatima Cameron when she conducted an interview with a bunch of parents, questioning them about their behaviors, appearances, and personalities of their children. The majority of the parents certified that their children were due to the nature side debate, as they were stating things like, oh, my child has the same eye color as my mother, things like that, or acts like my brother. And then some other parents attributed it to the nurture side of the debate, in which they said, oh, I treat one child differently than I treat the other one, or they have different situations that they respond to differently, which makes them an individual. But one mother was right on the dot of what psychologists believe, or what psychologists say the answer to the debate is now, stating that it's a combination of what the children get from us and our genes, and also how we and others influence them. And this embodies the solution to the debate, in which it's the interaction of environmental and genetic coding. Another study was done by Norman Keltner, which compares and contrasts two brothers with schizophrenia. So for the nature side that was certified is that the brothers were biological, so they share DNA, meaning that they are genetically similar, which certifies the nature side debate. And at least one of their parents was also schizophrenic, which certifies the nature side of the debate because it shows that they were genetically predisposed to have this disease from when they were born. And the nurture side is that stressful situations can frequently cause mental illness, meaning it could cause schizophrenia. So the younger brother, Al, has talked about having violence and abuse excessively in the home growing up, which can lead to mental illness and therefore schizophrenia. And Pete had a stressful situation in that he was robbed at gunpoint once in an alley, so those can both be very stressful situations, which can lead to mental illness and therefore schizophrenia. So the psychological trauma in combination with genetic predisposition to the disease embodies the solution that nature versus nurture is a combination of both the nature and nurture side. The implementation of this would be that we're not 100% sure of what side actually is affecting it more so. So you can't isolate that it's just nature because they're biological, or it's just nature because their parents could have had schizophrenia, or it's just nurture because they had stressful situations. We don't know which side only affects it, so that's the implementation of the debate. So hopefully, through further study and experimentation, this psychological debate can come to a clear and concise ending. Thank you. What questions do you have?
Talk to me about, thank you, by the way. 2 questions. Talk to me about how your question changed as you went through the research process.
I initially just wanted to talk about neuroplasticity and like how the brain works, but I realized that there wasn't like a sort of problem and solution with that. So then I remembered back to, I took AP psychology last year and I was really interested in the nature versus nurture of the brain, so I decided to discuss that instead of just neuroplasticity.
Okay, and then what are like real world applications of your solution?
My solution?
Like how can that be applied to real world situations?
Well, like we said, with the 2 brothers with schizophrenia, you can figure out what causes mental illness and things like that, so we can therefore implement maybe preventing mental illness like that if we figure out what causes it due to the nature versus nurture debate. So through further study, you can figure out what causes illnesses like that and prevent it into the future.
Okay, thank you.